video will demonstrate the Neo brain and a remote controlling a Rust sound system, which is a multi-room audio system that's connected to openHAB via a transport that I've written. Uh, to install the transport, you would go to add-ons, and there would be a miscellaneous tab that lists the Neo add-on. You'd simply hit install. This is my development environment, so you're not going to be able to do that, and hasn't been published yet. Once it's been installed, you could go to configuration services to configure it. You'll find the Neo connector under the I/O tab. You just simply hit configure, and you're presented with two options. First option, you could specify IP addresses for the brain or brains, or specify auto to have it auto detect the brain. Second option is whether you want all your things exposed or not. I've got it set off for right now. Otherwise, there is nothing really to see in the paper UI. This service will start up with openHAB, fail with or stop with openHAB, and will survive brain restarts. What we can do is go to the dashboard, however, and you will see a Neo transport tile. We could click this. And this will then show you the status of all the connected brains. In this case, it discovered one brain and it's connected to it. This is a live screen. It will update as needed. The more interesting thing is the thing definition screen. This is where you map openHAB things and channels to Neo's devices and capabilities. When you see a check mark here, that means that I've already installed it over on the brain. I've already taken these two things and put it on the brain. So if I do make changes, I know I need to delete and re-add it to the brain. Now, you could hit the I and you can see some information, but more importantly, you can see the key information for the Neo brain. Don't know if that's important or not, but at least you could see it. If you expand one of these, you'll see all the channels that this thing provides. In this case, we have a number channel. Let's click on that. You'll see it's a read-only channel and only accepts decimals. The capabilities that that are presented here are dependent on the type and, well, actually dependent on the accept commands and whether it's read-only or not. Since it's read-only, the only thing you're going to get is a text label. I can do text label, I can name the text label, and then if the channel's already got a format defined, a format will appear here. If not, you can change it, and the data sent to the brain will be formatted to that. Let's go ahead and clear that out. For the streaming source, both the AM, FM, and streaming are sources to the Rust sound system. I've already included them already, and if you look, I've already taken the string album name, made it a text label called album name, same thing with the artist, same thing with song name. For the AM FM channel, I've already done program service name and radio text. Now what I'm going to do is define the gray room. The gray room is where I'm sitting currently, the zone I'm sitting in. I'm going to say it's an audio zone. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to go to this key release event, which that is a string type and it's not read-only, which means I could send commands to it. So I'm going to make this a button. I'm going to say bind it to the cursor left on the remote, and I'm going to send the menu left command to Rust sound when it's pressed. I can then duplicate this, and I could say cursor right and menu right. And I will do that twice more for the up and downs. Up, down. And I'm going to make this one next, and previous. Boy, I can't talk. Previous. Now I would have liked to bind next and previous to the channel up and down, since those are the ones that control control swapping between stations, but the audio service doesn't seem to link up the channel up and down, so I've chosen to do cursor up and down in this case. Now the next channel I'm going to do is the source channel. This is a number field, not read-only, so I could send it things. Source means what type of source the Rust sound should be playing in my zone. This is source 1, AM, FM. This is source 2, the streaming. So I am going to say, make that a button. I'm going to call this AM, FM, and we're going to send it 1, saying change the source to 1. I'm going to duplicate that, make it a button. Right now the streaming source is set up to Pandora, and I'll say make that 2. Now this switch, the status switch, takes on off. Status is to turn on and off the power in the room. So I'm going to make that a switch, and I'm going to link it up to the power on off on the brain. The volume is a dimmer. Dimmer supports a whole bunch of different types. So, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a text label out of it, and I'm going to say volume, whatever the volume is, and a percent sign. So then we'll get a good idea about the percent volume out there. Then I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to make it a switch, and I'm going to hook it up to the volume up and down keys. The one thing I forgot was mute. I'm going to make a button, and I'm going to link it up to the mute button there. And that should be it. So I'm going to save that. Then we could go to the EUI to find the devices. And we'll get the device here, add the device. Now you could search by Rust sound, which is the binding ID of all those things, which you see right there. I could also search by just openHAB, which will just search the openHAB items. I'm going to add the great room. We're going to put it in the great room. Next. Done. Then we're going to go turn on its recipe. Recipes. Yep, next. And audio, we're going to turn it on. We're going to confirm we want to see it. We don't need to test it right now. And now we're going to say done. Get back to the main screen. We're going to do the great room. It's going to turn it on. You may or may not be able to hear it. It's already turned on. But I'm going to add some shortcuts. First shortcut I'm going to do is that AM/FM. We're going to add the program and the radio text. Second shortcut we're going to do is from the streaming. We're going to add the 3 channels that I did there. And then finally, we're going to add some of the channels that we did. We're going to do the AM, FM, and the volume. Done. And when we get back to it, you could see that right now the radio station that's playing, you could see the program service name continually changes as we get the PSN messages. That's basically what's going on or what channel we're listening to. And here's what's playing on Pandora right now. Right now our volume's at 8% and we have these 2 controls. So the next video I'm going to show you is using the remote itself.